Okay, now what? Now what does the game want me to do? The defendant's room. Alright, I have no idea what I still don't know what the game wants me to do. This is so bad. Are you sure that was man on guard? Not wearing the mask. Gave the bellboy a tip. Alright, I'm gonna ask about the other thing. On guard's tip! The defendant is a huge star, he can afford to give generous tips, wouldn't you agree? Sure. But giving him that much was maybe a little too much, I think. A little too much? Would you please clarify for the court? About how much would you say the defendant gave to the bellboy? Honestly, I don't know. I can't even begin to guess. And why is that? Because he gave the bellboy a really fat roll of cash! A roll of cash! Ah, well, how interesting. That certainly was a very generous tip, wasn't it? A very fat roll of cash that can hardly be called a tip, Your Honor. More like a thick shaft. The judge is beginning to look awfully suspicious of us. Look awfully suspicious of us. Alright, let's object. The defendant is a superstar. That kind of tip is typical fare for people like him. Are you saying that all superstars are super spenders? If I could receive large rolls of cash by simply bringing people things on the trays, then why on earth would I be standing around here prosecuting? He's got a point. I don't even get paid, let alone rolls of cash for all my hard work. Wait, you don't get paid? So supposing that roll of cash was not a tip, but a shaft, then what was it? Payment, Your Honor. Payment? Isn't it obvious? For the murder of Mr. Juan Corrida! So... okay, we're deliberately slow rolling this, right? Because if we like just showed him the picture of the butler and he recognized the butler, that's it. That's the end of the case. I don't know. Then the bellboy the witness saw. Yes, he was the assassin. Hold your horses now, Mr. Edgeworth. You don't have any proof of this, do you? Have I ever been unprepared to support my claims, Your Honor? I have here the cards Shelley the killer left at the scene of the crime. Shelley, the killer. He is the person the police's special investigations team has been chasing for ages. I am certain that the person the witness saw was this very assassin, Shelley the killer. Really? What's wrong, Mr. Powers? No, nothing. Something just clicked in my head and I think I just figured something out. Oh? Actually, I saw that bellboy again later on that night. What? Mr. Powers, please testify. Tell us what you saw. Yeah, so I was just thinking, the story is that they're deliberately dragging this out, but really, it means that the story writer don't have to do as much work because they're just dragging out nonsense instead of like actually, you know, solving crimes. We're just dragging things out, and so the guy writing the story can just do whatever he wants. Yes, sir, right away. Because none of this really matters. They've already said. This time I was in that hallway because I had to go to the bathroom. And that's when that bellboy I saw earlier came out of the room. Of course, when I say room, I mean Juan Corrida's room. Now that I think about it, that bellboy did seem kinda out of place. Yeah, so he had to be the assassin, I'm sure of it. I mean... you mean what? Thank you very much, that's all we need for now. Huh? But I'm not done. There's still more. Let us first establish that the bellboy was really truly Mr. the Killer, then we shall see! So the bellboy came up out of the victim's room. And if that bellboy really was the assassin, then I think the answer is fairly obvious. That would be correct, Your Honor. Well, Mr. Wright, I believe it's your turn to entertain and make us laugh. Lo. Ha 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 ha. This is no laughing matter. He's just dragging this out. This time I was in the hallway because I had to go to the bathroom. So neither Lotta nor Oldbag was here when you... Like, you were here twice, but neither of them were here. I don't know. And that's when that bellboy I saw earlier came out of the room. Of course, when I say room... Oh wait, I need to press him. And what time was it? Ah, well, I don't remember. The award ceremony ended around 8 PM, right? And I went to Matt's room pretty soon after that, and then I came back. And then I went to the bathroom. So I guess maybe it was around 8:10 PM by that time. That's pretty accurate. You're not one for details, are you, Mr. Powers? Sorry. I thought I could maybe catch Matt and say my congrats. And that's when that bellboy I saw earlier came out of the room. No, press him, Jesus. Are you sure it was the same bellboy? Yeah. And how could you tell? All the bellboys wear the same uniform after all. But you see, well, he had those stitches in his face. Ugh. So I'm sure it's the same guy that was talking with Matt. So which room did the bellboy come out of? Of course, when I say room, I mean Juan Corrida's room. The victim's room, huh? Yeah, the one with all the really pretty flowers and teddy bears. It was Juan's room, alright? Words cannot describe how screwed I am. Let's continue with the testimony, shall we? Now that I think about it, that bellboy did seem kinda out of place. So what exactly was so out of place about him? Right. Why the insipid grin? Maybe because I have no idea what damaging thing he's going to say next. Well, the bellboy was empty-handed. Empty-handed? That bellboy was one of those room service people, right? But he wasn't pushing a cart and he wasn't holding a tray either. You'd call that a little strange too, wouldn't you? I agree with that is a bit strange, Mr. Powers. No, he delivered whatever it is to the room. I mean, okay, usually there's a tray, but like, no, he just left the tray in the room. But is it really that unusual for a bellboy to be empty-handed? What should I do? Should I let Mr. Powers' testimony slide or pull a fast one? Try to pull a fast one? There's nothing strange or unusual about an empty-handed bellboy. But there really is. There really isn't. It's so stupid. If you two are done being schoolchildren, bellboys are for room service. There is no reason for them to be empty-handed ever. No, he delivered something. Your Honor, I ask that the witness's previous statement be supplanted with this new one. Edgeworth, are you going to do whatever you can to make the bellboy look suspicious? Yeah, that's his job. I see, very well. This court recognizes and grants the prosecution's request. Mr. Powers, if you could amend your testimony, please. Yes, sir. I thought it was kinda strange for a bellboy to come out of a guest room empty-handed. So you're saying that it's suspicious for him to be empty-handed? Yeah, really suspicious. I mean, when I first saw the bellboy, he was holding a tray in his hand, and there was a bottle of juice and a wine glass on it. Juice? What kind of juice was it? I'm pretty sure it was tomato juice. If we could come up with some sort of reason as to why he would come out empty-handed. Some sort of reason? What possible reason could it be? Some sort of proof? Then I think we can dodge the bullet on this one for now. Proof, huh? Sounds like another job for the court record. Yeah, so he had to be the assassin, I'm sure of it. Please don't be so quick to judge. Ah, but it's kind of a Powers family thing. What? Think of every person as a thief. That's your family thing is to think of everyone as a thief? Well, I guess a thief and an assassin are both sneaky and silent. That's not the point, Phoenix. In any case, if that bellboy was the assassin, it would be very bad for us. But he really is the assassin, you know. Yes, but... Yes, but... You can't give in yet. If you want to prolong this trial for as long as possible, you're going to have to pull some cheap tricks on this one. Alright, let me like... He was delivering juice. Right? He was delivering juice! Mr. Powers! Yes. You're easily influenced by other people's words, aren't you? As soon as you heard that the bellboy might have been the killer, you got caught up in believing it must be true. But, isn't he really suspicious? He's got all those stitches and... So, a baseball has stitches. Maybe the bellboy is really a giant baseball. Yes, a baseball does have stitches. Are you saying all baseballs are suspicious because they have stitches? Well, there's also, I mean, what about him being empty-handed? I would like to ask the court to please take a look here. This is the crime scene. There is a wine glass sitting next to Mr. Kurita's body. The liquid inside this glass is tomato juice. And now if you would look at what is on top of the table in the lower right corner here, anyone can clearly see that it is a tray with a bottle of tomato juice on it. The bellboy had just brought this to Mr. Kurita's room. He left the tray in the room, which is why he was empty-handed when he left. Ah, but... That would mean that the bellboy had seen and left a dead body in the room. Ah, but can you prove that Mr. Kurita was already dead at that time? Ah, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, I blame you for leading me down this route. Huh. I'm terribly sorry. What is with him? Why is he laughing? Witness! Isn't there one more thing you would like to share with us? Is there? The bellboy was empty-handed, or should I say, empty-handed. I recall you had something interesting to say about his hands. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Huh? What? That bellboy, he was wearing gloves! Gloves? Yeah, pitch black leather ones. All the other bellboys don't wear gloves like that, right? Black leather gloves? Why didn't you mention them earlier? Sorry, it slipped my mind. Ugh, boy does this make the bellboy look really suspicious. Alright, got to focus, I can't get lax here. Have to remain... Solid and not lax. What if he had gloves? So what if he had gloves? A lot of bellboys wear gloves. Come on, Mr. Wright. That bellboy was wearing black leather once. Maybe he was riding a bike. So, a football is made of leather. Are you saying all footballs are suspicious because they are made of leather? Yes. Yes, Phoenix, every football is suspicious. Have you not noticed how suspicious they are? Gulp! But that man, he received a large roll of cash from the defendant. And then he was seen leaving the crime scene wearing black leather gloves. I don't think that even someone like myself can believe he was just another bellboy. Black leather gloves. Ugh. It seems that we have finally come to an understanding. Now then, witness, please continue with the rest of your testimony. The rest? Oh yes, please tell us more. Black leather gloves. That makes him very suspicious. Okay! Their second meeting. After leaving Juan's room, the bellboy went and knocked on Matt's door just like that. That's so suspicious. He gave something to the person inside the room. Then the old guy just left without even going into the room. After that, I went to the bathroom and then back to my seat. You just happened to be there? To see both times? That's... what? I mean, look, that kind of coincidence. Yeah, no, that's just crazy. So the bellboy, after leaving the crime scene, next went to the defendant's room. Yeah, I kinda saw all that by accident. Some accident. I'd say you saw too much. And all of it was suspicious to high heaven. I think it is safe to say that we can no longer consider this bellboy to be normal. Now then, let's get started, shall we? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Their second meeting. After leaving Juan's room, the bellboy went and knocked on Matt's door, just like that. Is that what you saw while you were busy spying? Excuse me? I may be a poor, underpaid action star, but even I wouldn't stoop to spying. But I think the point is, where did you watch all this from, Mr. Powers? Oh, from the door of the bathroom with my left eye in a sort of sneaky spy-like. I knew he was spying! Please, does it really matter if he was doing it over or underhandedly? What did the bellboy do next? That's all I care to know. He gave something to the person inside the room. I said, hold it! Okay. That's better. Ahem. What kind of statement is that? Please elaborate and give us a few more details. Oh, okay. I should probably ask him only one question at a time. Person inside. So who took this something the bellboy handed off? Actually, I don't know. What do you mean? I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. Only an arm. Then you were saying you didn't see the person's face? Yeah. Well, it was Mr. Onguard's room, correct? So it could have only been Mr. Onguard himself, I'd say. And then, what did the bellboy do after that? Oh, so after he gave the person inside the room the thing. Okay, let me... Oh wait, I didn't... There was this true alien with the ring. No, I didn't mean to do this one. Hold on. I meant to go back. I accidentally went forward. This one. I said, hold it! Something. He gave something to this person? Yeah. And what was this something? Ha ha ha! If I remembered what it was, I wouldn't be calling it a something, would I? But this implies that something was removed from the scene of the crime. Are you sure you really can't remember, Mr. Powers? I think it was something kinda small. I would like to summarize the testimony up at this point, if you don't mind. When the bellboy left the crime scene, he immediately went to the defendant's room. There he handed a small item of some sort to the person inside. As for the person who received the item, all you could see was the person's arm. Yes, it was just like that. Mr. Edgeworth, is all this really important? Of course, Your Honor. I think this is of the utmost importance. This is when whatever was removed from the crime scene was handed over to the client. Mr. Powers, please try to remember what it was the bellboy handed off. Well, let's see. I think it was no. If you remember, please add it to your testimony. Yes, sir. If I saw it again, I could say for sure, but I think it was some sort of wooden statue. I will save here. You know, let me just press him. Let me just take my time. A statue! Yeah, it kinda looked like one, I guess. If I saw the actual thing again, I'd probably remember, you know. Looks like for this trial to proceed, I'm going to have to come up with whatever the statue thing is and show it to him. You're going to have to trust your instinct on this one and take a chance, Phoenix. I know what it is, it's the bear. Well, Mr. Powers, let's continue with your testimony. What did the bellboy do after that? Then the old guy just left without even going to the room. Where did this bellboy go after he left Mr. On Guard's room? He opened the door to Viola Hall, went in there, and who knows after that, right? I do. After that, I went to the bathroom and then back to my seat. Did you see anything strange, suspicious, or just out of the ordinary at that time? Oh yeah, I saw that one thing. What? He saw something else? There was this jittery alien with a ray gun. It was watching Juan's door like some sort of stalker. I think we can forget about the alien. Well, Mr. Powers' testimony just now was as vague as his first. It's a little troublesome, isn't it? But I'm sure if you press him enough, everything will become clearer. Sure. Although, that just makes it harder on us, doesn't it? Ugh. Talk about the lose-lose situation. Wooden statue. Unbearable. What was the point of that pregnant pause? I'm trying to make this last longer. Where did that objection come from? Well, speak up. It was me, Your Honor. What is it, Phoenix? I have a feeling that something bad is going to happen once I show this. Mr. Wright, if you have something to say, please spit it out. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, Phoenix, deep breath. Mr. Powers, the something you saw. Was it this item? Oh, hey, that's it. That's the something. Wow, Mr. Wright, you really figured it out. I recall we found this at Matt on Guard's mansion. At the defendant's house? What does this mean? It's simple, Your Honor. Shelley the killer assassinated Juan Corrida in his room. And then he stole this wooden bear from the scene of the crime. Then the bear being found at Mr. On Guard's mansion would mean... It goes without saying, Your Honor. Mr. On Guard is the killer's client. Order! Mr. Wright, this is a most unfortunate turn of events for you! Yeah. Sorry, Mia. No, it's alright. Your judgment was sound. Actually, I figured the bear would come up. You figured the bear would come up? If not now, then it will have later on. Even if you hadn't shown it to the court, I'm sure your friend Edgeworth would have. Ah, I almost forgot that he knew about it too. I think it is clear that there is no need for us to continue this trial. I can't let this happen. I have to do something. There has to be something we've overlooked. Your Honor! A minute, please. Yes, Mr. Wright. There are still a few points left that we have not fully explored. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. I don't know what he's talking about. Alright, Mr. Wright, what questionable point would you like to explore further? The person who received the bear itself. Let's look more closely at the bear. The person who received the bear? It's not necessarily the case that Matt took the bear. He only saw the person. I think this is it? There was one thing in Mr. Powell's testimony that was very unclear. And that is the identity of the person who received the bear. He gave something to the person inside the room. I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. As long as we don't know who it was that took the bear, we can't be sure of. Ah! What is it, Mr. Powers? If you're going to scream like that, then at least give us a good reason why.